Hi, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Women in Math and STEM, where our mission is to reach out to as many professionals, aspiring professionals, students, whatever you name it. We try to reach out to them, who essentially support the initiative of bringing more women and young girls into the STEM field. So, with that being said, as always, feel free to open up the description or transcript to better follow along, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hello, and thank you so much for coming to this call and talking with me. If you don't mind, just to sort of start off, could you introduce yourself as well as walk us through your journey to get you to where you are today?
Okay, I'm Navnith Shankar. I'm a freshman at Bentley School in California, and I started a company called Hawkamia School of Math. Uh, it hasn't really done a lot of great things, but I will admit we've done amazing things over the last couple of years. I led a team of 24 different kids into the Mustang Math Tournament and Stanford Math Tournament. It was amazing experience. We also all competed in AMC 10 together. We had some pretty excellent scores there. Um, I would say that my math journey has been pretty amazing so far. It's led to me taking AP Calculus BC in freshman year, which is pretty good achievement, if I do say so myself. Yeah.
And then what sort of inspired you to create this company and sort of lead younger students to do math competitions?
So I would say for me personally, what inspired me was really good teachers. So in sixth grade, I had this one really great teacher, Mr. Gavin. He was amazing. He like inspired me to pursue more and more mathematics, and like it it created a ravenous feeling in me for consuming more math knowledge. And I wanted to share that math knowledge with more and more people. So at first, Hawkamia School of Math was not at all called that. It was just me tutoring a couple kids at first. And then I started a company so that we could register in more and more math competitions on our own rather than relying on different schools. So then I started that. That went amazing. And it slowly but surely grew because some of my friends got their siblings involved and a lot of different stuff.
I was just wondering, what were some challenges of like founding this company and sort of like bringing together kids to like do so many different things?
That's a great question. I would say that a major issue that started up at first was actually starting the company itself, because to register a company, you need to, have a adult involved. So I just got my mom and dad to start that up, but that did make a little couple snags in the way. But other than that, I would say having all these big math companies that just like shoot out a bunch of different like extremely competitive math I what's the word? Competitive math like gremlins that just dominate every math competition, and seeing that kind of humbled me in a way in my first math competition. And then over time we're able to see that these gremlins are just insanely good at math, and you don't need to set them as an expectation for everyone. You just need to be the best at math that you want to be.
And then I was also just curious about like what got you into mathematics in the first place.
I would say it's half te good teachers and half a great upbringing, because my parents, both from India, my mom once won state championships in mathematics, and she went on to win second place in her national competition for India. And my dad went to IIT. He got eighth place on the placement test. It was amazing. They both really inspired me to pursue mathematics a lot more. My mom once said the reason why she started learning mathematics was because she just loved the solution process for each problem and circling the correct answer at the end. And I couldn't agree more with that. That's also another reason. It's really satisfying to see a problem just click in place, like all the different puzzle pieces.
And I was also just wondering, where do you sort of see yourself, the people you lead, and sort of your company in about like a year or so into the future?
I mean, I would say realistically, I would say it should grow by quite a bit because now that I'm officially in high school, there's a lot more people that I can see, talk to, a lot more freedom to roam, find new people, inspire them, and inspire myself to pursue more mathematics. So in a year, I would say I see my company growing at least like we currently have around like 30 kids in it. So I'm seeing it kind of doubling at least, but that's obviously a hope. Only time will tell.
And I know this is kind of like a very far shooting question, but like where do you see yourself with math maybe like a few years into the future or like a couple like decades into the future in terms of like work and
Mm.
stuff?
Yeah, I would say that in the future, definitely mathematics is going to be a lot more prevalent in society than it is today. And even then, today it's very prevalent because with the advent of AI, with the advent of bioengineering and all those other things, mathematics is going to be really helpful in all those fields. And I think for me personally, it's going to help a lot because not just mathematics itself, but the pure concept of mathematics, logic, problem solving skills, and those things are going to stay with me for the rest of my life. And they're going to help me in any field that I choose to go into.
You seem like you're pretty good at like teaching kids or like tutoring kids. Are you interested in like the academia side of mathematics or is it mostly like industry?
I would say that I'm terrible personally at competition math, but I'm able to somehow, I don't even know how, but like my students in the last math competition did better than me in the math competition. And that made me proud and at the same time embarrassed. But I guess I'm a good teacher. Um, but I will say that to go back to the actual question itself, I focus a lot more on the fundamental part of mathematics, like actual, like pure math. I call it pure mathematics. Like calculus, those things. And I don't try to stray as much from that, but I might in the future stray from it. I hope I don't, but I might.
Speaking of pure mathematics, are you super into like proofwriting and like going through solutions like that?
I would say that I love proofs, but I really, really love more so uh I just really love when it all fits together in a proof. And in that, I like contradiction proofs the most because I'm I'm terrible at writing proofs by induction and those things, but for contradiction, I'm amazing at those.
I see. I was just wondering if like you had any suggestions or like recommendations for students, maybe like middle school students, elementary school students who are interested in sort of pursuing mathematics but don't really know where to start.
Oh, that's an amazing thing to ask. I would say if you're in elementary school, don't try to leap too far in. Stay where you are and like enjoy where you are. Because once it gets complicated, it won't go back. But when it gets complicated, if you enjoyed the lower areas of math, you will definitely enjoy the upper areas of math. So just stay where you are if you're in elementary school. Stay where you are, take it all in and start nibbling at algebra. Don't like leap into calculus. Nibble at algebra first. For middle schoolers, I would suggest watching different videos from different teachers online. I would suggest like exploring new fields of mathematics. Um, just to spark that imagination, spark that yearning for new knowledge.
Sort of on the same note, seems like you're pretty good at like encouraging students to achieve their full potential as well as like motivating them. I was just wondering, like, when you encounter like a challenge that's really difficult or it's like a math problem that you don't think you can solve, what do you sort of tell yourself or like tell your classmates or students to sort of keep them going and like trying to solve the problem?
Another amazing question. I would say that I personally, whenever I encounter a problem that I can't solve, I just tell myself, first, one day I will be able to solve this problem with ease. And two, that if I still am struggling with it, I mean, I probably am, I would just ask someone for help because that's the best way to learn new things. Not by asking AI or anything like that. It's asking a real person because they can explain it in a way that suits you. Um, for my peers and for my students, I normally just like say, try harder. It sounds weird, but like if you really look at the problem again and you try harder, you're either gonna be able to solve it or you don't have the capabilities to solve it at that moment in time. So if that's the case, learn what you need to solve it at that moment in time.
Sounds good. Also, just curious if you had any last sort of parting thoughts you would like to share with the audience or like with your students or like just anyone in general.
I would say just persevere, stay focused, don't like distract yourself with other things while you're studying. And I think the most important thing to do while doing math is have fun while doing it, and only then will you be able to like go really advanced in math or stay where you are if that's what you want to be.
Sounds good. That also reminds me of another question because you mentioned that you're taking Calc BC your freshman year, so it seems like
Yeah.
you have a pretty good study plan. You don't get easily distracted. Was just wondering if you had any tips for like staying on task or like making a good study schedule for students.
Yeah, I remember during my online school years, I was extremely distracted during that time. So I don't know if that applies to me fully, but nowadays, what I do is whenever I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to do my math, I don't want to do anything, I set a 10-minute timer and I start working. And I will only work for that 10 minutes. And then after that, if I still want to work, I'll continue working. But if I don't, I'll stop. Because then if you don't want to work after that, it means that you're not ready to work at that moment in time.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. It was
Mhm.
absolutely amazing.
Thank you.